Welcome to Khanversations. I'm Muqtedar, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about some troubling events in India, which raise very serious questions about the direction of India's democracy, the direction of rule of law in India, and India's so-called and much celebrated pluralist ethos. Under Prime Minister Modi, India has become a place where minorities continue to suffer, whether it is Buddhist in Ladakh, whether it's Muslims in Kashmir, whether they're Christians in Manipur. There seems to be no peace. Even the Punjabis, the Sikhs in Punjab have also experienced the heavy hand of the government. And especially in states where Narendra Modi's party, Bharatiya Janata Party, is ruling, the police have essentially gone beyond their role and they use extrajudicial means to terrorize the minority populations. And by minorities, I just don't mean Muslims, whether you're Muslim, whether you are a Sikh, or whether you are a Dalit, an untouchable by Hindu religion. The Hindu religion divides people into different castes, and one caste is labeled as untouchable, who have been oppressed for thousands of years. Can you imagine describing another human being as someone who is absolutely untouchable? So these kinds of atrocities have increased, not decreased. When Prime Minister Modi travels abroad, he takes great pride in the fact that India is the mother of democracy and that India has a long history. It's an old civilization, and as an old civilization, it has deep-seated values that are worthy of praise and practice. But in reality, since he has become the Prime Minister of India, uh, the rights of minorities have been trampled on continuously. There are bulldozers that are used to destroy Muslims' house through extrajudicial processes. Dalits are murdered on the streets. People who rape women and children, like in the case of Bilqis Bano, are released early from prison and celebrated as individuals of great moral character. I mean, the rapists of Bilqis Bano were described as unche sanskari log, people with high moral standards. This is what has become of India. And it's very troubling because India has also shut down nearly all human rights groups. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, etc., are not allowed to operate in India anymore. And not only that, the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom is now not even allowed to visit India for their own reports that they produce on religious freedoms every year. But this last week or so has been terrible. There was an incident where a Dalit was beaten to death. He was beaten to death. Mob lynching has become a standard operating procedure of most of the people who do this are Hindu nationalists, and they do this in states where BJP is in power, more or less, because they know that the police will not take any serious action against them. Even if they are arrested, if there is a hue and cry, and often there is no hue and cry, but when there is, then the people are arrested and then they are let go very quickly, or they are out on bail and they are free to do whatever they want all over again. There is no systematic crackdown on these domestic terrorists. These people, these gangs, these so-called senas, which go around killing people, torturing people, this mass violence that is conducted, they should all be labeled domestic terrorists, and they should be treated like that because they are terrorizing citizens of India. So, for example, one Dalit was beaten to death, and as he was dying, he invoked the name of Rahul Gandhi, and so it got more media attention. If he had not mentioned Rahul Gandhi, I don't think that that story would have caught the attention of the people. But it highlights the fact that a mob can beat up people and then hope to get away with it. You just have to make an accusation against somebody. Oh, he's a thief. Oh, he eats beef. Oh, he smuggles beef. And then the mob goes berserk. It's like they are mad people who have no control on themselves. But they are also strengthened by this. Look, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of people of the same religion and same values who live all over the world. We don't see Hindus in America going crazy when people eat burgers here in the United States. They're not going nuts like they do in India, because here the police will not tolerate it. They will shoot the mobs if they go out there trying to lynch somebody in the streets. But in India, nothing happens to these mobs. That is why they feel empowered to kill people on the streets, even with their camera. Sometimes their own people are filming them and then posting them on social media, and yet there are no consequences to that. That is the amazing part of it. And India wants to be a Vishwaguru. It wants to be an example for the rest of the world to emulate. Really, that was not just one example. The other example is of a lawyer trying to throw a shoe at a Supreme Court justice in India, saying that the Hindu religion, Sanatana Dharma, will no longer tolerate insults against it. Apparently, the judge insulted religion. And this man took upon himself to, I guess, insult the judge. What it shows is that there is no respect for judiciary. There is no respect for the law in India today under Prime Minister Modi's rule. Take the case of this campaign that is going on, I Love Muhammad, peace be upon him. People are being arrested. People are being beaten by police. No charges. You know, in a civilized country, if somebody commits a crime, you accuse the person of committing a crime, you arrest the person, and then you present them in a court where a prosecutor presents evidence to the judge that this person who is accused of this crime committed this crime, and here's proof of it, and then the judge decides what the punishment. That is what democracy is. That is what rule of law is, and that is what being civilized is. But if you claim to be a great civilization, then why are people like mobsters out of control going around beating, and the cops too? They're beating people and parading them on the streets. Even if they had posted a poster saying, I love Muhammad, what is wrong about it? India is supposed to be a constitution where everybody is allowed to practice their religion. Prime Minister Modi, when he goes abroad, gives lectures on Vasudeva Kutumbakam. And then when he comes home, this is what happens. He's such a hypocrite. This government is a government of hypocrites. Talks of civilization and values and mother of democracy, and then it's like Gunda Raj at home. I'm amazed that people who are posting I Love Muhammad posters on their social media are being attacked. People's homes have been bulldozed because they have protested these arrests of these people. These are fundamental freedoms. When we talk about fundamental freedoms, we talk freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, freedom of assembly, and freedom to protest. These are fundamental. This is what Mahatma Gandhi taught, Satyagraha, civil disobedience. India became independent based on this. And now when people do indulge in civil disobedience, the police indulges in extrajudicial activities and destroys their homes. So if you look at what has happened just last week in India, you can see that the supporters of the current regime in India, celebrating the 100 years of RSS, the Hindu nationalist movement, which does not really approve of the current constitution of India, which describes India as a secular socialist democracy. They want a non-secular, right-wing, majoritarian and authoritarian government. I'm very disappointed and very sorry and deeply hurt, because for decades I have been talking about, with pride, about how India, being a poor country, a developing country, recovering from 200 years of debilitating colonialism and imperialism, has managed to become an example to the rest of the world on how to be democratic, how to be pluralistic, how to be tolerant. And now we see things like this, where large segments of the society does not respect India's constitution, does not respect India's laws, does not respect India's judiciary, and those who are supposed to protect the citizens, they have become abusers of the law, that is the police. Thank you for watching Khanversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. Like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this video with your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Take care.